What's going on, guys? It is Danny or Wi-Fi Astronaut back here again for another video, and today we're going to be reacting to a video by Ryan Pineda, who's a very successful real estate wholesaler out in Las Vegas. I've been watching his videos for a while now, and he had made a video saying I was wrong about Amazon automation, so we are going to react to that and see what he had to say. I skipped through the intro here because it was just 2 minutes of him talking about different ventures he thought were wrong. Turns out they were right. But let's see what he's got to say about Amazon automation. And for those of you who don't know, just real quick, Amazon automation is when you pay, but usually between 20 and 50 grand up front for a pre-made Amazon store. And then there's yearly re-up fees or quarterly re-up fees, which can range from $5,000 to $10,000 or $15,000 to keep the store active and to keep the person who sold it to you staff working on your store. I have my own opinions about this, but I'm gonna watch it. No prejudice, but let's check it out.
Worth well over $1 million now. So the reason I say all of this is because I believe I was completely wrong about Amazon automation. If you watch my first videos on this subject, I was very skeptical. I did not expect much out of it, but after owning a store for the last 5 months, I am a believer. If you haven't seen my first videos on this subject, I'll give you a brief rundown. Back around September or October of 2020, somebody reached out to me on Instagram wanting to open a store completely for free for me.
That's not bad.
I'll do it for free.
You're hired.
And the reason he did that was because I had given him so much value from my YouTube videos and other things. He was a real estate investor as well, and he just wanted to thank me. And honestly, I did not expect much out of it. I really just wanted to do it for the content. It was a topic that many people were asking me about, so I figured I'll try it for myself to let the public know if it's legit or not. Well, fast forward to now, it's been about 5 months of having my store, and I can tell you it has completely exceeded my expectations. If you look at this slide here, you could see my first 4 months of owning.
All right, so I just stopped it here on this slide just to look at it. And just some real quick thoughts off the bat. Amazon automation stores, I mean, the only reason someone would be giving one for him for free is to hopefully get a promo from it on one of his videos. Because these stores, if you only convert a few people, that's a few hundred grand, or it could be up to, you convert 10 people at 30,000 each, that's $300,000. So it makes sense for someone to give him a free store and then to work extra hard on it to make it profitable. So he promotes it to his audience. However, he hasn't said who it was yet or anything about it, but let's keep watching.
Owning a store. I started in December and we made about $1,000. In January, it bumped up to $3,000. In February, it got a little over $5,000. And then in March, we did over $8,000. And these numbers are all net profit. I'm not talking about gross revenue or anything like that. This is what I took home. And that's not even counting credit card points, which have made me another $3,000 on top of that. So if you add all that together, in just the first 4 months alone, I've made $18,000 on the store and another $3,000 with credit card points. And on a side note, if you're wondering,
if this was everyone's case and everyone's store, this would be fine. There's companies that sell for 4 or 5x. So let's say they make, just for simple numbers, $1 million EBITDA, which is earnings before interest, taxes, and whatever. It's pretty much the company's profit before taxes. If they make $1 million EBITDA, it could sell for up to $4 or $5 million, which is fine. That makes sense, which is, it seems to be. That could be the case here. However, it's just not the case with Amazon automation stores. They usually don't work like this. But let's keep watching.
Wondering how my credit card points are so high, I actually have a card called Carrot, which is for influencers only, that pays 4% on Walmart purchases.
That's interesting. I've never heard of that card. Carrot. Very interesting. 4% back at Walmart. It's very good.
Anyways, these last few months have proved to me that this is legit, that it's real, that people need to take notice of it. I literally haven't had to do anything other than pay off my credit cards. It's literally one of the most passive things I've ever seen. And here's the thing, I do believe my store is gonna continue to grow and continue to scale, to where it's over $10,000 a month. So even though that's cool, the story does not end there. Over the last few months, I've had a ton of Amazon automation companies hitting me up wanting me to affiliate their stores. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I entertained every single offer because they were very lucrative. We know that these stores typically cost $30,000 to $40,000 upfront alone, and if I'm an affiliate taking 40 to 50% of that, you can imagine how lucrative it could be. I have no doubt that doing just this video alone could sell over $1 million in stores. At the end of the day, after looking at all the different operations, I realized that there are stores that succeed, there are others that don't, but in the end, I don't want to be on the hook for it reputation-wise if they don't fulfill. If a store's not getting the
That's very true. That's the biggest problem with all of these automation stores is the people who are selling them are like fly-by-night kind of people. No one's ever heard of them. They show up out of nowhere with 500,000 followers and a verified Instagram account that they bought on the dark web, and it's just they're fly-by-night. They're gonna scam you, and then they're gonna delete their accounts. They're gonna run up a few mil, and then they're gonna leave. Right? That's why for Ryan Pineda, he can't do that because he's built so many other very successful branches where to him, $500,000 or even $1 million is not worth it because it'll ruin his reputation and then will long run cost him to lose more money.
results that are expected, or if somebody wants a refund, I need to be able to be in control of that. And as an affiliate, you have really no control of how somebody else handles their business. So I said, you know what? I don't want to do it. If I'm going to get in this business, I've got to own it. So being the entrepreneur that I am, I decided it was time to start my own company. And I ended up partnering with the guy who started my store initially all the way back in December. I felt like I could take his expertise in the e-com space and building stores and combine it with my expertise in building businesses, customer service, operations, sales, marketing, the whole gist. And in fact, I believed in the business so much that I took my partner Tony, you can see him in the picture right here, and moved him to Vegas in one of my rental properties, and then gave him an office right here in my office. That way I could have my finger on the pulse for everything that's going on in the business, like I do with all of my other businesses. And it's funny because if you watch my very first video on this subject, I said that he was probably giving me a store for free in hopes that one day I would affiliate for him or potentially partner up with him, and it actually happened.
Yeah, of course.
And I can tell you, going into it, I did not think this would be the case, but my mind has been completely shifted the 5 months I've been working with him. Now here's the truth. Before I ever partnered with Tony, I looked on the back end of many other companies as well as his. I saw a lot of good things and I saw a lot of bad things. I saw people who had stores that were netting over $100,000 a month. I saw stores that got shut down and were having trouble getting reopened. And then I saw stores that performed just like mine that had a nice steady climb. But here's the truth when it comes to Amazon automation. Yes, it is completely passive, but like all businesses, there is a lot of risk. Because dropshipping is against Amazon's terms of service, they do have the right to shut your store down if they want. And if that happens, your money is going to be frozen on Amazon and you can't get it back until your store gets reopened. Now look, your store getting shut down is probably the biggest risk with this, but there are a couple of other small...
Guys, I mean, like, do we even need to keep watching? Drop shipping is not allowed on Amazon. And the margins that they're operating at are fairly slim. So if you're spending $50,000 in credit cards to drop ship some products to make, let's say, 10 grand, which is 20%, which is high for automation, when your account gets shut down, because it's not an if with drop shipping on Amazon. It's not an if, it's a when. Drop shipping is against Amazon's terms of service. It is not allowed. And drop shipping consists of, if you're buying a product from Walmart and it gets shipped from Walmart to an Amazon customer in a Walmart branded box, that's not allowed. The only way you can drop ship that's allowed is if you're doing it through a distributor who's sending it in an unmarked box. And there's no there's no logos from the distributor. The only kind of logos that could possibly be on it are from the actual brand itself that the customer is buying. That's the only way it would work. What Brian Pineda is saying is that I think he's saying his store was drop shipping, or that these stores are drop shipping, which is not allowed. Your account's going to get shut down and you're going to lose your money. And yeah, you can get it back once or twice, but that third time, or really even that second time, you're not getting your money back. Amazon's going to say, You broke our rules. It's our platform. It's our money now. It's really bad, man.
Smaller risk. Number one, if you're buying a brand new store, it's gonna take time to get it going. You can't just go and do 100,000 in sales in month one. You're gonna get flagged by Amazon and they're gonna shut you down.
True. They if you do go crazy rapidly up, they'll probably flag you. They may not shut you down right away, but they'll want to review it, and it could take a few days or a couple of weeks. But that is true. But that's not a big deal. That's something that can get resolved. But if you're drop shipping, they'll find that out, and then that's it.
You have to slowly scale it. A more realistic goal is to make your initiation fee back in year one. And then after year one, you start making some good money. The other risk is that your store's revenue is not predictable. Take my store, for example. We went from 1,000 to 3,000 to 5,000 to over 8,000. But this last month, we're gonna definitely be lower. I don't have the final numbers in at the time of this viewing, but I can tell you it's probably gonna be around $3,000 or $4,000. And the reason is Amazon deleted our buy box because we got one bad review. And basically what the buy box is if you're a top seller, they're gonna push your product up a little more so that people buy yours instead of someone else's. And we had that in the previous month, but we didn't have it this month because of the negative review. And that just is what it is. All we can do is get some more positive reviews so that Amazon gives us the buy box back again, and then we start getting the revenues going up again.
Yeah, so what he's talking about is buy box eligibility. I haven't noticed this been a thing for some new sellers. I don't even think they're making new sellers become buy box eligible anymore. I know when I started a few years ago, you had to like wait, and then there was usually a day where your account would become buy box eligible and your sales would skyrocket because you were now in the buy box. I'm pretty sure that's not a thing anymore, and all accounts are buy box eligible out the gate, but they're more strict about taking it away from people. So it looks like what he is saying here, he got a negative review and they took his buy box eligibility away. That will ruin Amazon accounts. And I mean, getting it back is like, there is no way to like get it back. They'll never tell you how to get it back. They'll never tell you how to become buy box eligible, right? There's no like framework. You got to just keep selling and hope it comes back one day.
So you just got to be aware there's going to be inconsistent revenue for things that are out of your control. And if you're wondering, why did you guys get a bad review? What happened? Well, the customer got a product that was damaged from Walmart. Totally not our fault. Walmart ships it. We have nothing to do with it, but it's on our account. But here's the thing.
That's not true. He said it's totally not our fault. As an Amazon seller, you are responsible for shipping that package. So when you go to outside fulfillment from a company like Walmart that doesn't even realize they're selling it to an Amazon customer, it's your fault if they ship the wrong thing, if the box is damaged. If anything goes wrong with that shipment, it is the seller's fault. It is not Walmart's fault. It is your fault. The only thing Ryan Pineda could do in this example is go to Walmart and say the box is damaged, but getting the proof of that, you got to get it from the customer, somehow get it sent through Amazon messages, which is possible, and then get it sent to Walmart. It's a hassle. I mean, but ultimately, it's the seller's fault. Seller's responsibility, especially when you're merchant fulfilling. It is all the responsibility falls on the seller.
Despite those risks, I do think that the reward is worth it. I've made over $20,000 these first 5 months. I haven't had to do anything, and I do believe that it's going to continue to scale, like I said earlier in this video. And on top of my current store, I'm also in the process of opening more stores.
Another one. Another one. Another one.
And so with any business or investment that you're going to make, you just have to understand both the risk and the reward. And in this case, I do believe that the reward for Amazon automation is worth it as long as you have somebody that's a good operator. I do believe that the return is worth it for the fact that it does not look somebody that's a good operator.
The person who's buying it? Because if it's all passive and I don't have to do anything, I could be a terrible operator. And what he means by operator, it's another term for CEO or founder owner. I could be a terrible operator. According to Amazon Automation, everything's supposed to be passive. So talking about me being a good operator has nothing to do with it. It's the seller. But once the seller has your money, especially if there's no like re-up fees, there's no reason for them to keep working on it after a year or two. But let's keep watching.
I do believe that the return is worth it for the fact that it does not require much of your time. Now that being said, if you only had $30,000, I would still say you should invest in real estate. I do believe that real estate's going to give you the best return overall out of anything out there. But if you already own real estate or stocks, I think this is another way to diversify and another good passive income stream. But even when it comes to real estate, it still can't give you something that automation can, and that is true passive income. For me to go buy a rental property, I've got to go find a good deal, I've got to go get a loan, I've got to jump through a bunch of hoops. Then once I buy it, I then have to go manage it. There's a lot of work involved with getting that real estate deal. With automation, it's really easy. You just sign up, open an LLC, and then pay off your credit cards. It's that easy. So there are some pretty big differences because I do believe the reward for real estate is far greater, but it's gonna take a lot more work and effort on your end. Automation is great if you don't wanna put that work in or if you wanna diversify. And if you're wondering about stocks versus automation, I don't really care for stocks, period, so I'd rather have automation than that. But all that being said, if you've made it this far and you want to work with my company,
Man, I think Ryan Pineda is starting. I think he's seeing green. I think he's seeing dollar signs. He like it guys. It doesn't. The short answer is it does not work. There might be a few. You might get a few $1,000s here. You might get a few $1,000s there. You might be even some of the lucky few that somehow make your money back. But if you think this is going to give you financial freedom, if you think you're going to pay 50 grand, make that money back in a year, which is insane, by the way, for an initial investment in terms of the whole past 100 years, the history of the world, making your money back in the first year is nuts. If you think you're going to do that, and let's say you pay a yearly re-up fee of like 15 grand. That's usually how it's like 30 to 50K, yearly re-up fee 15K. Why the hell would a person sell that to you, 50 grand, you make that back in a year, and then have you pay 15 grand a year, assuming you're somehow going to start netting upwards of 6 figures? It makes no sense. Why wouldn't the person selling it to you just do it themselves? And I'll give you some examples. They'll say things like, oh, well, we can't open up enough Amazon accounts. That's not true. You can pay people to open them up, and then you transfer them into LLCs that are owned by you or owned by a trust that you own. So that right there is solved. Capital, that's easy to solve as well. These are all things that it just, none of it makes sense. When you really break it down and think about it, it just doesn't make sense why they would sell it to you. The only reason they're doing this is because they're able to do something right now that's against Amazon's terms of service, put up some pretty revenue numbers, and then sell it to you. It does not work. I hope none of you guys fall for these scams. If you have, I'm sorry. Start watching my videos and learn how to do this stuff yourself. But please, please, please do not buy any Amazon automation. You are much, much better off buying a course. And I don't even do that like that. But you're much better off buying a course on how to sell on Amazon and consuming YouTube content and trial and error instead of going out and spending 50 grand and trusting some fly-by-night guy named Tony who just appeared on Instagram a month ago with 1 million followers. Please, guys, don't do it. If you like this video and you want to see more reaction videos like this, drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.